In the last month, I have seen 3 groups break up and 2 DMs that were both DMing for less than 5 years walk away full-time from the hobby. And it was over a specific issue. The 2 DMs that walked away, here's what happened. They had their authority as DMs stripped away, they agreed to this, and they became depressed, had a hard time managing the table, and they gave up. They walked away. They quit the hobby. Yeah, they walked away the same day together. They both knew each other. They both agreed that they were not enjoying tabletop role-playing games. Yet they agreed with the players. And they said, because you're right, that's the reason we're walking away, because we don't enjoy it that way. And if that's what it is, I'd rather go play a video game or do something else. That's how they responded to their players. There's a lot of drama, too. The players were very upset that those 2 guys were walking away the same day, after only DMing for less than 5 years. And they seemed to be enjoying what they were doing, right up to the point they just gave their authority away. They're just another player at the table. And they buy that. The 3 groups that broke up, well, their game masters in all 3 situations wouldn't accept that they were just another player at the table, and so they should give up their authority. And that's what the players were demanding, that they give up their authority. What they used to manage the game, they wanted that to be given up, and then the game master is to bow to them. It's not about what the game master wants, it's not about them enjoying themselves, it's about serving the players. And well over 90%, almost 100% of cases, where I have seen players pushing at their game masters, that the game master is just another player at the table. It is to strip away authority from the game master, which wrecks the game. I've never seen that, where players are pushing that on the game master, and that turns into success. Yet there is a minority of people, content creators, people online, that will say the game master is just another player at the table. Maybe they don't game much. Maybe they only game with their personal friends, so they don't know what most people are going through. They might not realize that over 90% of people that are pitching that the game master is just another player at the table is doing it for very deceitful, awful reasons. But hey, they got these content creators online, these old school guys, assisting them, helping them out, helping them make the argument that, yeah, the game master is just another player at the table. Well, can't we just be serious? Can't we just, instead of having to win these petty arguments in this petty way, what is wrong with saying the game master is the game master and the players are just the players? If someone plays banker during a Monopoly game and they're not playing any of the characters on the board, nobody calls them a fucking player. We call that person a banker, and nobody is offended because nobody has an agenda, right? That's why nobody calls that banker another player at the game. There is another area where I see issues coming up all the time. Calling these games storytelling, and then having the players pitch that their character shouldn't die, they shouldn't have to face character death, they shouldn't have to face all these challenges, they shouldn't have to put up with this because it's not good for the story, right? Now, whenever I see people pushing the idea that what we're doing is storytelling, in over 90% of cases, it is people pushing the idea that character death should be eliminated, they shouldn't have to face certain challenges, because the story is more important than the idea of it being a game. Yet, again, there's a small percentage of people online, content creators and that will push this idea of storytelling, maybe not with the same aim, but these people, the over 90% that are pushing it for a deceitful agenda, well, they're getting help from that content creator, that person on the stream, that's saying, hey, what we're doing is storytelling. I get that there's a small number of people that will say the game master is just another player at the table. What's the big issue? And they don't mean anything bad by it. Same thing, there's a small percentage of people that will say what we're doing is storytelling, and they have no bad intent behind what they're doing. But in both cases, almost everyone that's doing the same thing as they are has a deceitful agenda that is out to destroy the game for some personal way of getting ahead that simply doesn't work. It breaks games up. It leads to nothing good. I get the idea of calling these stories. I get the idea of calling the game master another player at the table. But I don't see the point. Like, if you have no aim, then does it matter if we just call the game master a game master and the players, right? Like, is that okay? Like, what are you offended by? If you have no agenda, if you have no bullshit to pitch at us, why the fuck do you care about the game master being called a player? Why does it matter to you? Because the only people I know for sure that really have a reason behind doing it, they have a deceitful agenda that's no good. And from what I'm told by these minority of people online, content creators that push the idea that the game master is another player, they'll say, well, that's not what I mean. Well, you're not representing anyone. There's nobody behind you. You're like in a tiny, tiny fraction. Like less than 1% of the people that do that have what, a well-meaning reason? There's nothing behind what you're saying. The entire idea of pushing it has been to support a deceitful agenda, stripping authority away from game masters in an unnecessary, stupid way. And you might not think you're supporting that, but yeah, if you say the game master is another player at the table, given that 99% of people push it for a deceitful agenda, you're supporting it. Even if you don't mean to, you're supporting it by happenstance. You're saying it, they take it as support, because there's no group behind you that's saying, we only push it for this really legit reason. No, it's just a few individuals that will state the game master is another player, and they mean something else by it. But at the end of the day, who's being supported? Their view? No. It's that deceitful agenda. Like, that view is what gets supported by their statement. If they're okay with just calling the game master a game master, well, at the end of the day, that would support what they're saying that they're into. I don't want to strip authority away from the game master. Well, then stop calling him a fucking player, you fucking moron. Get it? Same thing with storytelling. Well, I think character death should be in the game. Well, then stop calling it storytelling, you stupid fuck, because there's no movement behind you. There's only a movement behind people pushing that storytelling to avoid character death and to avoid what the game is, to turn it into a drama class, right? Well, if you're not supporting that, well, you making the argument that it's storytelling, well, you're not supporting the opposite view. You're supporting the majority's view that character death shouldn't be part of the game because it's not good for the story. And if you don't get that you're supporting that, you're a fucking moron, right? Like, just say what it is. The story comes from the game. And if you say it the way it is, like we just call the game master what they are as a game master, or we just say, hey, what's really happening here? We play a game and the story comes from it. When you represent reality, it ends up representing what you tell people that you're behind. You don't pitch storytelling because you're against character death. Well, then don't pitch storytelling in that way. Because if you do, you're supporting people against character death and against the game, right? Do you really need this spelled out for you? Are you this fucking stupid? And let me guess, you're going to dislike the video and be mad at me for calling you out for being a fucking moron, right? Right? Like, if you don't, if you have no agenda, then stop using language that people with a deceitful agenda use, right? Because it's like running around talking like a fucking communist, saying what communists would say, and then when I say, hey, you're talking like a communist, you're like, that's not what I mean by it. I mean all this legit shit by what I'm saying. Yeah, but you're saying the same shit a communist would say. Like, come on. Wake the fuck up, you fucking idiot. Anyway, for now, take care. You know what you can do? You can hit the like button. You can share the video. Oh, and there's another button you can press. That one that lets you subscribe to my channel for more content. Oh yeah, there's that bell thing. You can press that so you know when I've uploaded a new video right away.